Ladies and Gentlemen, welcome back. Meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen zurück. Wir starten die zweite Session hier beim Österreich-Tag bei der Zero Project Conference. In dieser Session geht es um Technologien für alle. Wir werden einige Preisträgerinnen der Zero Project Awards kennenlernen und sehen, wie Technologien Inklusion und Barrierefreiheit und Zugang zu unserer Gesellschaft für uns alle ermöglichen. Die Session wird auch auf Englisch sein, das heißt, ich werde jetzt ins Englische wechseln. Moderiert wird sie von Wilfried Kainz, dem Head of Research von Zero Project. So, ladies and gentlemen, we start with our second session at the Austria Day. We will show you international awardees from Zero Project, showcasing technologies that enable inclusion and disability accessibility for people all over the world, and we will see how they are relevant for Austria. The session will be led by Wilfried Kainz, the Head of Research from Zero Project, and with that, I hand over to him. Thank you, Wilfried.
Thank you. We conduct this session in English, so please use your headphones also. We have some translation services there, and we have German captions and ÖGS, so you are hopefully able to follow. Before we start, I would like to give you some background on the technologies the Zero Project is researching. As you know, ICT stands for Information and Communication Technology. That means that these are applications, assistive technology devices, which are important not only to people with disabilities, but mostly to the community in general. And since 2019, we have decided to include these ICT topics in the yearly call for nominations. As you know, we research innovations on accessibility, employment, education, and independent living and political participation, plus ICT. So irrelevant of the main topic of each year, we look for these technology advantages. And as you know, we judge on 3 different criteria. The criteria are innovation not necessarily on a global scale, but at least on a regional one where the organization or the company is working. Impact, so we do not look for prototypes or good ideas. We want to have a proven track record that the device, that the technology benefits people with disability, ideally over a time frame of at least 2 or 3 years. And the third criteria of selection is scalability. So we want the solution to be scaled, to be transferred to different environments, to be grown and to spread. These 3 criteria are the selections for all nominations of the Zero Project. Last year, on the topic of inclusive employment and ICT, we received more than 500 nominations. More than 100 were on the ICT topic. And as you know, the Zero Project has a network of roughly 10,000 peoples and organizations. These are international bodies like the UN or the European Union. These are self-representatives. These are disabilities people's organizations, all kind of different environments, but all united in the topic of inclusion for people with disabilities. And with peer reviews and peer reviewers over various sessions, usually during the summer, we select then not only the final Zero Project awardees, but also certain technologies which we think do not qualify yet for a Zero Project Award, but we have them in the Technology Forum. The Technology Forum is the afternoon before the conference, where you match technologies which maybe lack a little impact and or are not yet scaled, and we let them pitch in front of investors, in front of multipliers, and in front of companies. Most of them have been with us on Tuesday afternoon already, and I'm very happy that to present a selection of 4 partly awardees, and part of them have been to the Technology Forum. They are from almost surrounding countries from Europe, from Poland, the Netherlands. IRA is not really surrounding, they're from California, but with an Austrian speaker, and Independent here in Austria. So without much further ado, I would like to hand over to Rob. Rob, please take it away.
Also, guten Morgen, Wien. Ich wollte das immer sagen, wie im Tagesschau. Aber das ist die Ende von meinem Feriendeutsch. Jetzt habe ich, I have to switch to English, my professional language. I'm sorry for that. I'm from the Netherlands, Rob van der Ven. As you see, Lola Giele, I'm Lola Giele. That's the slide. But I want to take you to a classroom in the Netherlands. And I think it's similar to a classroom in Austria or in Germany, all over the world. There are some children, they're working quietly, they're doing their job like making calculations or writing text or learning something. But suddenly, all at once, a boy makes a lot of noise, he cries, he shouts, he's throwing his chair away, and he's mad, and nobody knows what's going on. And the teacher tries to calm down. That takes 10 minutes or something like that. Okay, we go further. And after a while, the teacher says to a girl, please, could you do this or that? And the girl runs away. She tried to hide, she cries. The teacher goes after her, tries to find out what's happening. She can't make any contact. So that's an average classroom in the Netherlands. There are a lot of people, a lot of children that can't connect very well emotionally to other people. They can't express their feelings, they can't talk about it, and when a teacher tries to help, they implode or they explode. And sometimes they implode for a day and explode in the evening, and nobody knows what's going on within this child. They can't tell. That's no good. That leads to isolation, to social isolation, and we found out a solution to do that. We are people with enthusiastic about robot technology, and we thought, well, we have to find a solution for this kind of problem. And we did. We had it in here. It's our innovation. And in the Netherlands, we already sold about 250 of these, about 500 to 700 users, 60 organizations, schools, healthcare, and this is what it's looked like, this solution. So it's evidence-based. I hold it up, it's a green bulb, you can turn it around, it changes the color, and you push on his head and it gives a wink. That's what it does. But how can you use it? Well, if this is an assistant for the teacher, but also a buddy for a child in a classroom. You give it to the child, when it feels irritation or anger or it's afraid, they can turn it into the color, like sad, push the emotion, and it gives a wink. And this guy is so friendly. The children want to tell this guy how they feel because it has no mouth. It doesn't ask difficult questions. It has no judgment. It has no language. So you can talk. You can talk to this guy. And they do. So I see the picture. Well, is it good? You catch the wink? Okay, this is the half of the product. The other half is online. So the wink means that it sends the input to an online calendar. And the online calendar shows the emotions during a day, during a week, during a month, during a year. You can see some patterns. You can see, hey, every Thursday it's bad. Every Friday, more anger. During the month, when we change something, it's better, less escalations. So you can see this as a personal trainer in a classroom. A personal trainer for the child and an assistant to the teacher. For the teacher, it's a relief because the children don't escalate so much. They can handle their emotions better. They can make better connections. They can better interactions. So this is what it does, rudely. And let me see if it's there. So you bring Felix into the system, and it acts like a co-worker for the teacher or the caregiver, and like a buddy for the child. or the user. And you can do better mentoring. It's more a relief to handle in this situation. And this is what we are doing it for. We have developed Felix close to, in cooperation with our clients, with our customers, with users, and we try to figure out how it works so easily, so simply, and we get a lot of information back from our customers. So this is a note, and we were very emotional of this, because this child made a drawing of Felix with different colors and emotions. She personalized it, but on the back she wrote a text, and this text is incredible. It says, "Mama, I want to take this at home because then I can tell you how I feel." And this child couldn't connect to its mother emotionally, has difficulties, and sees Felix and thinks, this can help me. So this is what it's all about for us. Okay, we have a lot of data. I think this is gold. We have to do a lot with this, and we want to try Felix in more places. We want to grow. We want to have the social impact because we believe this can help. We believe that every classroom needs an assistant, emotionally assistant, within the classroom. But we are a startup, we are growing, we are believing in this, and we have to grow, and we need scale-up power. So we need projects, we need things to do, we need funding, and that's what we're looking for. We already met some contacts in Austria, in Vienna. This one, another one, is staying in Vienna at the hospital school. They want to try it out. We had a contact with a healthcare organization for disabled people. They want to try it out. So we have some contacts, we have some seeds planted here, and we want to grow, help us grow. So if you could provide us with funding or help in any other way, we are happy to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. That's excellent. Maybe two questions are after it. What's the business model? Is it the HappyBot is now on sale, or how does this work?
Good question. It's on sale, but we change our business model because it's an assistant. It is manpower. So you can get Felix as an internship to try it out. You can rent it, so it's an internship, but you can give him a yearly contract, like a labor contract. And when he's done, he can get home again and gets to other places. That's the business model.
All right, and the second one, the primary target group. So who are them? These are schools, special schools, or who are they?
Thanks, Wilfried, for the question, because it's on here on my list, but I forgot to tell. A lot of people with autism, with mentally disabled people, emotionally traumatized. So we have our customers our target groups are schools, teachers, and healthcare organizations with this kind of disabilities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We will do all the 4 innovations, and then I will open the floor to the public to ask more questions. So the next technology is IRA. Florian, please.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I'm Florian Gutmann. Sounds Austrian, sounds German. It is. I'm Austrian. However, I still prefer to give this talk in English because I'm working in English. I'm relatively new to the accessibility space. I'm the head of AI and platform development at IRA. And yeah, I want to talk a little bit today about what IRA is about. At IRA, we believe that access is a human right. And we're partnering together with organizations and government entities to make that a possibility for everyone. So IRA is a visual remote interpreting service. And it makes it easy to say yes to accessibility. And it helps break down barriers for the blind and low vision community, as well as the deaf and hard of hearing community. So what is video remote interpreting? It's a professional service. It's a professional service where anybody who has a need for visual information, everybody who is blind, can instantly connect through an app to a remote interpreter. Those interpreters are highly trained specialists in providing visual information to blind and low vision community. So let's go through an example. Imagine you're blind and you're at an airport and you have to go to gate D67. And maybe along the way you want to do some gift shopping. You want to bring home a souvenir. So you take out the Aira app, you hit one button, and within 5 seconds you're connected to a remote interpreter. This remote interpreter can see through your camera and can give you guidance in whatever task you have in front. So in the airport example, you start the Aira connection to the interpreter, and the interpreter sees through the camera the surroundings of you. They can read the signs around you and can help you find the way to the gate that you need to. Along the way, when they see that you're coming around the gift shop, they can lead you in there, describe the products so that you can figure and find out which one you would like to buy or which ones you would like to buy. All on your terms and instantly available in any situation. The other, maybe let's go one slide forward. Yeah, the other solution that we have is Aira Essl, which is sign language interpreting. Works the same way as the Aira app for blind and low vision, but this time you're connecting to a sign language interpreter. So say you want to buy, you're deaf and you're in an electronics store. You want to buy, say, a new smartphone. And there are lots of options. You want to get some information, want to ask the employee at the store about the different options. You want to maybe you have questions about the contract or the contracts and contract options. So same thing here. You click the button and you're connected immediately to a sign language interpreter. This sign language interpreter can again see through your camera, so you can sign to this interpreter and they can speak back through the loudspeaker of your phone. So you have this communication between the three parties involved in this scenario, like the store employee, the deaf person, and the interpreter. So again, very easy to use and great service, enhancing the independence of, of the disabled person. So yeah, these are the steps again. It's really that easy. You download the app, press a button, and you have real-time assistance. Okay, I think we had prepared a video here, but it didn't play last time, so I think it won't play this time. But yeah, maybe Aira is available on iOS, Android, has a web application, so it's very accessible on all kind of devices. The variant for blind and low vision also supports all kind of smart glasses, so we are on the Meta Ray-Ban glasses and various glasses that are specialized for blind people. So it's easy to use and gives you a hands-free experience when you use it in combination with your glasses. The Aira app for blind and low vision also has AI capabilities. So if you have like a short task, maybe identifying an object at home, you need to know if this is salt or pepper or something like that. You can take a picture, ask the question, and the AI will give you information, visual information in real time. This in itself is already very powerful. But we at Aira, we go one step further. AI can make mistakes. AI is not always accurate. So we built in functionality where you can, with one click, let the result be verified, the AI result be verified by a human. And the human can say, yep, it was all okay, or they say, no, there was something wrong in that answer, and they can correct the answer. Yeah, so IRA is usually free for the end user because we partner with so-called access partners. Those are government organizations, schools, universities, corporates. We have lots of partners in that space already. It's from large tech corporations, supermarkets, museums, universities, entire states in the US, which provide that service for free to either their employees or their guests or their customers. So for example, in the US, in Starbucks is an access partner, and in every Starbucks that you go in the US, a blind person can use IRA for free. So it's a very nice combination. Thank you. Yeah, it's very easy to become an access partner. So you sign up at IRA for becoming an access partner, and you can then enable it for your employees. It's just the personal account of the employee will be linked to the business profile, or if you need location-based access, we have geofencing technology. So if you want to make it available in all your stores, you send us a list basically of all the stores, and we draw a virtual fence around those locations so that you can easily get running with it. Yeah, very important for us, IRA is really built with security, professionalism from the ground up. We are a highly trusted service. We run through all kinds of security tests all the time because the large access partners demand that. Yep. And here's just a small list of our access partners, or some of our.
Wonderful, thank you so much, Florian. You are already available globally, so an Austrian could sign up for it, or?
At the moment, IRA is mainly available in the US and English-speaking countries, and we're actually actively looking for partners to bring IRA to the EU and beyond. We believe that we need to do this together with local entities because we need IRA agents trained in the country that understand the cultural context and understand everything. So if you are one of those potential partners to bring access to a new geography, we would be very happy to talk.
What kind of trait are you looking for in this partner? So is this a DPO? Is this a service provider? Who is this ideally?
Yeah, it can be, we're open to different options here. It can be, say, an organization for the blind. We already have some contacts here in Austria to the blind organization. Can be maybe a service provider that provides sign language interpretation. Can be some NGO that can set us up with somebody else. So happy to talk about all of this.
Very good. Last question. How about the language? This is not an issue, or how would you resolve that?
No, language is definitely an issue. And also cultural context is an issue. So that's why we strongly believe that we need to partner with local organizations and local teams, build a local entity maybe to support this in Austria or Germany or elsewhere.
Thank you so much. So this was IRA, our second technology we wanted to bring to you. The third one is from Poland. It's called Migam. Paweł, please.
Thank you very much, Wilfried. Ich kann sprechen Deutsch, aber nicht so gut, so I won't try anything else than this. You need to know that my biggest ever mistake was really thinking that deaf people could simply read. As same as IRA, we are experienced in supporting deaf people in communication, and you need to remember after this that for them, using a sign language isn't just a substitute for speaking by the use of gestures. You need to remember and think about 80 million people worldwide who are struggling with the communication because they are deaf as a native users only for sign languages, not for the verbal one. I'm Paweł Potakowski. I'm a tall man with a blonde hair and with blue jacket, blue shirt. I like blue color, but I'm also a hearing person. But I'm a voice for my colleagues from MIGAM who are deaf, because over 40%, it means 9 people from my company, they are deaf. And I believe that giving another type of voice for them is my obligation. This is why we are working on sign language automatization through artificial intelligence. And we began with a dream. We started as same as IRA in providing online connection with sign language interpreters. In Poland, we've reached 300,000 of the interpretations that we've done. We've got also over 2,000 clients in this sector. So we earn enough money to start struggling with artificial intelligence. And you need to know that when Sir Richard Branson recognized our experience, it was a damn proud for us. But what was a little bit funny was when he was struggling with my CEO surname. So now I dare you, try on your own. 1, 2, 3. Let's try. Przemysław Kuśmierek. I want to do it because of one thing. This is a difference in languages. This is a difference just in a verbal one. So imagine the struggle also in sign languages. After the thousands of sign language interpretation that we've done online, we understood that the best way, it will be sign language automatization. We built a sign language model which is really, really smart. It got 1.4 billion connections in it to understand the sign languages. But what does it mean, understanding the sign languages? It means that we would like to provide a solution that will recognize 42 points on each hand and also 52 blend shapes on the face for describing the emotions, to provide direct bidirectional communication even on your mobile device and even offline. This is what we are aiming for, to provide the access to sign language interpreters even if they cannot be available on the other way. This is a little bit difficult, but we are doing it. We are doing it also with the involvement and great acceptance from the deaf society. As I said, we've got over 40% of my team as a sign language native users, but also we are cooperating with associations and organizations globally to aim that what we are doing, it's exactly what they need. And imagine one thing. In Netflix library, there is 17,000 hours of content. Of course, it depends on the country and availability, but imagine 17,000 hours of content. If deaf people would like to have any of those in sign language, they, for example, could open the TV series, the one series called Deaf U, about students of Gallaudet, because they are using sign language in this series. But on the other hand, can they choose anything else? Unfortunately, not. So trying to make the interpretation of this content, it could last years of dozens of interpreters working together 24 hours per day. And it could cost, we have counted, between $7 to $10 million. But with sign language automatization, with our avatar, working at first in American Sign Language, we could provide it for 70% less, and in days, not in years. And access to the entertainment could open the mind of all people that, wow, we could do this. We could use sign language interpretation made by avatar in this way. We could even take fun from watching the TV series and animation like SpongeBob with SpongeBob using sign language. If you are a deaf children, it could be a wonderful experience with your favorite cartoon character using your language. Imagine this. And what's really important for us, it's already proven by partners that agree that what we are doing, it's one of the most wonderful version of sign language automatization globally. The proof comes from NVIDIA and also Microsoft, with whom we are working very closely. And also, we are waiting for the feedback from our colleagues, deaf students, and also the sign language teachers from Stanford University. We choose them as the first proofreaders of what we have done. And this is one of the versions that we are working for as a visualization of our meta-human avatar. She is showing the sign you. She is pointing a finger to all of you, to dare you. Support us in any way you would like. Even if with a good word, just come to us, ask, for example, us why there is a butterfly in our logo. But what could be more important? If you represent the organization or the team of people who are involved in sign language, or you know them, for example, in Austria or in other German language countries, or any other place in the world, we really would like to cooperate with you. Because gathering a proper data set to put inside this magic box which will transfer a standard two-dimensional videos into avatar, it's a struggle when you've got headquarters in Poland and also a small team working in USA. So if you would like to support us with access to the videos with the sign language in Austrian Sign Language, come to us and we could support you with the sign language avatar in your language. We are in front of the M1 room in the booth number 1. Me and Michał are already met Lavon Roberts from Scott Morgan Foundation, and she said that they would like to cooperate with us. So hopefully one of you also will join this global revolution for deaf people. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel. It sounds fascinating. So how far are you? When do we see the avatar?
Wilfried, I must say that if our colleagues from NVIDIA doesn't stop us with suggesting how it may be even better and smoother, we will already show you it here today. Unfortunately, my colleagues from the AI team are still working to make it even better than we thought it could be. So, as soon as possible. If you are interested in getting access to the as soon as possible early demo, left me your card or go to migam.ai and left your email there. We will absolutely send it to you.
Thank you. What's the commercial model? So is it it's going to be in you sign up for it, or how is this going to work?
Wonderful question. You need to know that for us always the service that we are providing needs to be free for the deaf people. We never thought that we could take money from the deaf people. We in Poland, our video remote services are sold to public institutions and companies. They pay for us for being accessible. In the same situation, when I show you the Netflix, of course we are talking with them for the translation of their library, and they will pay for it. This is the model. Deaf people need to have something like this for free without extra payment.
Wonderful. So let's hope we see something tangible soon. Without further ado, and without the danger of running out of time, I would like to hand over to Konstantin and Daniel to present Independent. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. So I want to show you Independent. Can you imagine that this text in the top left corner is not accessible for millions of people? They use AAC instead. In fact, there are 240 million people worldwide who struggle with text-based information. And our mission is to feel everyone included by developing an app suite that seamlessly interacts with the digital-based world. Therefore, we take information from your Google Calendar and translate it into our Independo apps. We are a team of 6 people with different backgrounds, but all met at the Technical University of Vienna. And our solution is a digital calendar diary to enable people who rely on AIC to independently manage their schedules, share calendars, and tell stories. So they are now part of the digital world. Our app has been developed in co-design with over 50 partner institutions in the German-speaking region who regularly participate in user tests and expert sessions so that our solution really meets the user's needs. And now I want to hand over to Konstantin to show you how we get to our solution.
Thank you. So now that you heard our pitch, we want to use the rest of the time to tell you a little bit of how we got to the point where we are now, how we got support from the Austrian ecosystem quite a bit to actually make this possible. So the initial idea, it's not something that we came up with, it's something that came from a daycare facility here in Vienna. They're called Integration Wien. I'm sure some of you know them. And our co-founder Julia was working with them on a different project, and they had a list of problems that they needed to be solved in the digital world. And this is where the idea of the calendar came from. At that time, we were all studying at the TU in Vienna. We were part of an innovation extended study program that basically teaches engineers like us how to run a company, how to run a startup. And yeah, that's the four of us. There's just 3 circles, but that's okay. At our graduation ceremony. And once we got the idea, we actually just started prototyping. And what we tried to do is we tried to work in co-design from the very beginning. So we came up with those first mock-ups, and as you can maybe tell, they look pretty ugly, but they kind of proved the point that this was something that would work in the digital world, because what we heard from our partners was that they were using print out pictograms, stick them into books, stick them onto walls, all in the analog world, and we just wanted to try, does this work in the digital world as well? And it did. So after 3-4 weeks, we actually went to the first school and showed them our first prototype. And this is something that we've done ever since. Every couple of weeks or months, we go into schools, we go into associations. And then this was the first iteration there on the right-hand slide. And it's very chunky, it's very, it was sort of functional, but we kept working on that thing. And sometimes it's quite exhausting. When you spend a whole day just testing and recording things, sometimes you need a little nap afterwards. And then we actually found a company, and we could do that because we got support from the AWS, that's the Austrian Wirtschaftsservice, and we actually got a grant, non-repayable grant from them, and we could actually start to work on this as a company, and as something that we could work on full-time. And that was in the summer of 2023, I think, yeah, 2023. And then something pretty crazy happened. We got invited to the Closing the Gap conference. That's a conference in the United States. And we actually flew over there and gave a presentation somewhat similar to this one, how we work. And that was also quite the motivation for us to keep working on this, because we got a lot of support, a lot of very interesting questions, a lot of new ideas where we could take this. And yeah, that was something that we did not expect would happen, but it was still very fun. We're right now 6 people, as Daniel mentioned, so we are the 4 people who founded the company, plus we have two employees. She's our designer, she's based in Berlin, and the other one is based here in Austria. And then we kept working on the product, and we iterated on the first version that was still very, very clunky and very somewhat childlike in many ways, because we started working with schools in the beginning, and then about a year ago, we released the second major version of our application, and that's much more refined, it has much more functionality, and we keep working on this, and also it looks much nicer, in my opinion. Yeah, and then last year we got the first 2 business angels on board, and that was a very big milestone for us because it kind of proved that what we're doing can also be a commercially successful company. So at the beginning we always had to explain people this is not a charity project that we're doing, this is something that we want to self-sustain in the long run. And we thought about, okay, how in the beginning, how do we do this? Do we found a company? Do we run this as an association, as an NGO? And we decided to go for the company, and that was something we always had to explain, but that we had to explain that is a viable business case. And the reason why we chose the company was because we think that's the best way to make this run in the long run, and not just rely on grants forever. Yeah, so what's up next? We currently have the calendar live. You can download this on the app stores in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. That's the first application. We're currently working on a journaling application. So the idea is that the calendar is something you use to plan ahead. The journaling is something that you use to look back, to take pictures with, things like that. We're working on a routines application because a lot of our users are from the autism spectrum, and we learned that they can very much profit from daily routines. So that's something that we're working on. And the idea is to have this always integrate with B2B solutions. So B2B meaning associations like Caritas, like Lebenshilfe, for example, who are already using our apps, that they would buy this for their entire association and then have this integrate with our apps. And then you can do things like working on goals together and develop a couple of use cases there. Yeah, so our mission is to make everyone feel included by making the digital world accessible to all. On the slides we have a couple of pictures of our first users that have been on board since the very, very beginning. We're very grateful for them to be, that they stuck with us, even though some of the things we did were very clunky and chunky and didn't really work, but they stuck with us. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if that's something you're interested in, you can contact us. You can get the app on the app stores, and thank you very much.
Wonderful, you two. Thank you so much. A question, so is the app for free, or how does this work?
So we have 3 different models how you can get the app. So one is the subscription-based model. You can get this on the app stores. It's a monthly or yearly subscription. We have a similar model for institutions and associations, so they would buy licenses in bulk and then get discounts. And since last year, we also got the first applications through with the German healthcare system, and also in Austria with the, it's not the healthcare system, it's Soziales and so on who pay for this, but you probably know the process here. And this is also possible since November.
And who is your target group? Whom do you want to sell in an ideal world?
So our current customers are people from the autism spectrum. Mostly we also have people who had a stroke, who also struggle with text-based information in some cases. So basically anyone who uses AAC, unterstützte Kommunikation, that's our main target group right now.
And how do you tell people about it? How do you advertise, or how you spread the news?
Most of the people we have on board right now through word of mouth. And we didn't spend any money on advertising yet, so we're lucky in that sense. Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Thank you. So you saw 4 quite different and diverse technologies targeted at different forms of people with disabilities. We had Rob with the HappyBot, we had Ira, we had Migam, and we had Independo. We have lots of time, so please ask your questions.
Even in sign language, you've got the interpreters.
We let not sneak you away too early. So another question maybe to Rob, to you. How about the development? How long did it take you to develop? Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I will answer in the name of Przemysław because Przemysław is my CEO and I'm Chief Communication Officer. So unfortunately he's not available now. Not here. He's in Miami now. So the standard business that we've got, it's 24 hours access to live person interpreters available online. So this is the standard version that we've got. And for sign language automatization, of course, it will be also available 24 hours per day, like any other artificial intelligence. It should be anywhere you need it, whenever you need it.
Thank you. Rob, I was asking you, how long did it take you, and what kind of skills does it take to develop a happy bot?
Well, we started with an idea in 2019. Just try it out for a few of, well, we thought we have to make a little robot as an assistant. Let's try. And we started 2 or 3 robots with the sticky gums and tape and all that kind of stuff. And one was already sold, so we thought, hey, there might be interest. So we took a long trip to develop a first batch. And that was in 23 that we developed this last batch. It's and this is the one who's robust. How do you call it in English? Robust. It's all in the market now. So about 250 are sold already.
Thank you. Pavel, you said you have 9 colleagues, if I remember correctly, who are deaf. So how many people are you in general, and what's the skills profile? So you're all engineers, or how does this work?
We've got 19 deaf people on board. We've got 44 people included, and it counts people with all kinds of skills. Of course, we are a technological company, so a lot of them, they've got wonderful technological skills. I believe 2 of them are absolutely artificial intelligence geniuses, really. One of them is with me, so if you would like to meet Michał Pena, need to go to our booth where he's now waiting for you. I believe that what's most important, Wilfried, is to build the team which support each other in the understanding of many different perspectives. But what's the most important, and you need to always remember it, if you are making anything for people with any kind of disabilities, you need to involve them. They need to work together with you. The first time when Przemysław started the company in 2011, he didn't know there are 2, let's say, languages for sign language in Poland. One is Polish Sign Language, which is native language for deaf people, and the second one was artificial one made by Polish scientists to support deaf people with the whole grammar logic from the Polish language put into using the sign language. It was crazy, and first mistake he made was to use this system of sign language, not the Polish sign language. So always involve deaf people inside the deaf people community projects.
Thank you, Pavel. How does this work in ARA, Florian?
Yeah, we also work with blind people. We have employed a lot of blind people. We have deaf people in all kind of roles, from advocacy to the outside to marketing, you name it. And it's very important to include the people that the product should serve. There is no way around this.
I would like to add one thing. Our customers said that one of biggest advantages of Migam was that our chief of sales was deaf and he cannot make a phone calls to them, he write only emails. So they say, whoa, it's great, no phone calls hitting us.
Konstantin and Anneli, you told us you're all engineers with the TU background. So how do you treat with the disability subject? How does this work?
Yeah, so I briefly mentioned this in the presentation. So the first thing we did after the idea was brought to us, we went to a school. We went to Integration Wien. We just talked to the people in the field, what they're using, how they're currently solving this problem. And we have an amazing advisory board of people, of users, people who are supporting our users, caregivers, who support us in developing the product. And which something that is super nice because we are financed by grants. We can always have a bit of a budget to actually pay them and to pay them for their knowledge share services and their time.
Yeah, when you bring out the subject, I would say that we are also working with our clients to develop. For instance, this sleeping bag is knitted by grannies, knitting grannies. They're lonely and they form knitting groups, so you can buy this one, the sleeping bag, and the revenue goes to the knitting ladies to build more of these. And the supporting materials like this one, a comic book, to personalize for children, is made by a girl who has autism, and she loved it so much she made this one, and we're very happy she did. So we are trying to involve our clients to help supporting products with Felix.
Very good, thank you so much. So last chance for any questions. If not, I would like to thank you. I would give special thanks to Gudrun and her team for the captions, and to Patricia and Elke for supporting us with sign language and the captions. And thank you for your attention. We hope it found some interest, and if you want more information, we're still around. Pavel has a booth, and we're still there, and I want to hand back to Andreas.
Thank you very much, Wilfried. Thank you for showing us how technology will involve every one of us for an inclusive society. Thank you for this amazing session. We will have a short break. We will come back in a few minutes with the third session of the Austrian Day. We will look at the local models to ensure inclusive employment on the first labor market. I will switch back to German and make the same announcement again. In wenigen Minuten, nach einer kurzen Pause, um Punkt 12 Uhr, bleiben wir in Österreich und schauen uns an, wie inklusive Arbeitsmodelle funktionieren könnten, um Menschen mit Behinderung in den ersten Arbeitsmarkt zu bekommen. Wir haben ein paar großartige Beispiele, die wir präsentieren werden. Wir sehen uns also in ein paar Minuten. Bis später.